And welcome back to the GTO League. It's time for the Winston Cup Series, the inaugural race of the inaugural season. We've ran a lot of exhibition races here in the league for this series, but this is the first points event. We're going to start keeping some points, and we're going to crown a champion at the end of the 10 race season. And I am joined here in the booth, first in live commentary. We're here next to each other in a room about to commentate this race. Two-time champion of the GTO League, Rashad Metz. Rashad, how are you doing tonight?
Miles, I am doing awesome, super excited. We're in the booth together for the first time ever. We get the chemistry and all that stuff that we can't get being virtual, so I'm super excited to kick off this season and let's crown us as champion.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be awesome. We're going to be better than Larry Mack and DW in the booth together here after a
Without a
couple
doubt.
races. Just give us a couple races to knock off the rust, and we're going to be pounding out some great ones for y'all. So just thank you for joining us here tonight. We got a 25-lap feature event with some of the best Winston Cup drivers from the early 2000s. So got some beautiful paint schemes, some beautiful drivers, and this is just going to be a great event. The Daytona 50. It's not quite the 500, but 25 laps is a pretty good amount of laps for these drivers to sort out what they need to sort out. So how do you think these drivers are going to handle going into this season?
Well, all these drivers, of course, have experience at Daytona, so I think all these drivers are going to know what to do. They got their game plans already ready. I think they're just going to be trying to work around, the new ins and outs of racing under the GTO banner here. So right now, I think all these drivers are super excited to kick off a season, get to go back into some beautiful paint schemes, relive some amazing memories, and hopefully have some fun along the way. What do you think, Miles?
And this is definitely going to be a fun one. Just seeing these cars race on track again. I never thought I'd see these cars race against each other again in my lifetime, because you figured I was only, one or two years old when these cars were going on the racetrack. So it's going to be fun to watch them tonight. But let's waste no more time. Let's get down to the Metz painting grid walk. And starting off on pole position is the Penske Racing Ford of Rusty Wallace and the Miller Lite Ford. He's been really, really fast throughout practice and qualifying. Had the fastest speed, the fastest two single car laps out there on the racetrack. So it's fun to watch the Miller Lite Ford go on pole here tonight. So let's see what he can do from that P1 position.
Rolling off P2, we have the number 10 Valvoline Pontiac of Johnny Benson. Super fast in qualifying and practice. Just came up a little bit short in qualifying. Just lines up second place. Way better than this team has wanted. So I'm super excited to see what Johnny Benson can do in this number 10 car today starting from P2.
The Pontiac's having yet another strong qualifying effort here at the Super Speedway at Daytona. The number 20 car of Tony Stewart, that Joe Gibbs Racing Pontiac, is going to roll off P3. Really, really fast car throughout practice and qualifying. Glad to see the Home Depot car up front. Been struggling a little bit through the exhibition races, and it looks like he's got some good momentum going this weekend. So let's see if he can carry it throughout this 25 lap main event.
Rolling off next, we have John Andretti, a 43 Dodge. They're really fast with their horsepower, really good on these tracks that require a lot of top speed and a lot of horsepower. So we're looking forward to seeing what John Andretti can do. He said he can get more speed out of the race car, but so far he couldn't get all the speed he wanted out of it. He said he was struggling with handling and things like that. So hopefully that team dialed it in before the green flag drops today.
And one driver that definitely knows his way around super speedways, that's Ernie Irvin in the number 28, that Robert Yates Racing Machine. They got some fast Fords on these super speedways, and he's showing a case here, starting off in P5 from the inside row, that number 28 car. He's got a teammate with him, so he's going to have some help drafting throughout today. So let's see if he can get that number 28 Texaco Havoline Ford to the front of the pack.
Wherever we'll have next, we have the number 5 Kellogg's of Terry Labonte in that beautiful Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Really going to show what he has. He has the experience. He has the skills to get it done here. We just really have to watch how he's going. The car's not handling the way he wants it to. I think this team has been struggling. He's been bumping heads and clashing with his crew chief. So hopefully those guys have figured out those issues, and hopefully they can come out here and get a great result today. What do you think, Miles?
I think he's been really, really fast. So I'm excited to see what he can do during the race. Rolling off right behind him is another Robert Yates Racing car. Here, that Ford Taurus of Dale Jarrett, one of our good buddies, Nick Collier's favorite drivers. So hopefully he can get a good run for our friend Nick Collier. The number 88 car has been really, really fast all weekend. Didn't quite have the qualifying effort that he wanted. He qualified outside the top 5, but he is starting right behind his Robert Yates Racing teammate in Ernie Irvin. So let's see if those two fast Fords can lock together and push their way to the front.
Rolling off next, we have my personal favorite driver, Jimmy Johnson, in that 48 Lowe's Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Beautiful scheme, great driver. just not really the most plate track savvy driver in the world. He has his experience here left. He has some experience here. He got some wins here, of course, but right now he's not really as strong as he would like to be. Him and Chackenhouse have been working at it, throwing setups at the car over and over again, but right now it doesn't have the speed that they want. Hopefully they can turn around with some adjustments more in the race.
Rolling off behind him is number 18 of Bobby Labonte, your 2000 Winston Cup Series champion. So let's see if he can start and win this championship in the GTO Series, first ever Winston Cup Series season we've had here. So let's see if he can get it done in the inaugural season. That Pontiac's been pretty fast throughout practice. Didn't quite have the qualifying effort he wanted. He's going to have to start pretty deep in the field compared to his teammate Tony Stewart. But them Joe Gibbs Pontiacs has sure been fast throughout the expedition races. So let's see what that Interstate Batteries car can do today.
Rolling off next, we have the number 8 Budweiser machine of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Need I say any more? Somebody that's great on these plate tracks, can see the air just like his father, has the great same experience, didn't get the qualifying effort he wanted, but I guarantee you we're going to see this guy at the front. You can't ever count on Earnhardt at a plate track.
Rolling off right behind him with the rookie in the series, Kurt Busch, starting out this year with Roush Racing here in the number 97 John Deere car. Made the step up from Busch Series, been really, really fast in the Busch Series, so he's going to go really, really fast tonight. He's had a pretty decent forward throughout practice and qualifying. Didn't have the qualifying effort he wanted, but he's looking to learn some stuff, get some stuff under his feet, so let's see how he can do in that Roush Racing machine.
Roll up next, we have number 40, Coors Light Dodge of Sterling Marlin. Sterling Marlin had a beautiful scheme right there. I see Sterling Marlin made a lot of mistakes during qualifying, missed some corners, had some handling issues, saying they were struggling with the real loose condition in the corners. Can't really stick where he wants to stick the car. So hopefully with some few more minor adjustments here and there, him and his crew chief can maybe dial in the car. They're really looking for a top 5, top 10 finish today, and hopefully they can get that done.
Rolling off right behind him is another Roush Racing Ford Taurus, and that is Mark Martin. Mark Martin is a really, really calm and collective racer. One of the great veterans that the sports has ever seen. Probably the greatest to never win a championship in the Winston Cup Series and Cup racing in general. Really, really fast driver. He knows his way how to work on a race car and how to drive one. So let's see how that Viagra car, it's definitely going to be a hard one to beat today.
Rolling off next, we have the Rocket Man himself, the number 12 Dodge Alltel car of Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman is a guy you always see on pole position, really fast, but once again, struggles during qualifying, as many of these other guys have had. Dodge is not really showing all their speed today. Usually they have a lot of horsepower, but they're struggling with handling and other technical issues, and Ryan Newman fell victim to that as well. But I really think Ryan Newman, somebody that's really fast at tracks like this, can find his way towards the front.
Rolling right off behind the Rocket Man is Mr. Excitement in the number 23 car, the Smokin' Joe's machine. If Jimmy Spencer can get a top 10 today, then everyone gets free 5 camel cash. So let's hopefully he can get that, get some free camel cash out of this thing. That camel car was pretty fast during practice, but it had some handling issues during qualifying. Wasn't really able to keep it on the bottom, which, you know, the yellow line is the fastest around this racetrack during qualifying. But let's see how he can do during race trim. He's got some spots to make up. Let's see how that 23 car can do.
Rolling off next, we have another Dodge in the number 9 of Bill Elliott. He has plenty of experience here. Honestly, has gone some of the fastest you could ever go at tracks, super speedways like Daytona and Talladega. A guy that's not shy of going fast here. So I really look forward to seeing if he can take that Dodge number 9 machine and make it to the front row. Because right now I think with the experience that he has, but he made mistakes during qualifying once again. Same with the rest of the Dodge camp. Not really getting very successful qualifying efforts. But I think those guys, they work together, they can find their way towards the front.
Rolling off behind him is Ward Burton, that Bill Davis racing machine. The Caterpillar car, the Caterpillar skid steer car, rolling off from the back. Again, the Dodge struggled a little bit during qualifying. Didn't quite have the handling that he wanted to keep it on the bottom to get some good laps in. But he is a Daytona 500 champion, so let's see if he can repeat it here tonight, the Daytona 50. Ward Burton has a fast Dodge. Let's see if he can draft his way to the front.
Rolling off next, we have the RCR number 3 Goodwrench Chevrolet, driven by no other than Dale Earnhardt Sr. On the racetrack, not the qualifying effort he wanted. He said he was throwing everything at this race car, but couldn't get it to do what he wanted to do. So right now, he's not thinking they can do much with it, but you can never count out Dale Earnhardt. Him and his son, I think if they get together, they can really make something happen in this race. They may not be teammates, but they are father and son. And they always say, blood is thicker than water, Miles. What do you think?
That is true. One fun fact I will say around this car, everyone thinks that that stripe around the number and the stripe above the silver is actually red. It's actually Chevrolet orange, the same orange that they used to use to paint small block and big block Chevrolet engines throughout the 70s and 80s. So a little fun fact for you, that's actually Chevrolet orange. And rolling off right behind the number 3 of Dale Earnhardt Sr. is the Wonder Boy, the number 24 of Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon is going to be starting deep in the field. Actually missed qualifying, so he's going to roll off P last. Had some issues, had to change something, so he got ejected from qualifying. Going to have to bring up the rear of the field. So hopefully that Hendrick number 24 can latch up with his teammate and Jimmy Johnson and make their way to the front. And that's it for the Mets painting grid walk. We got some of the best drivers ready to battle it out on the high banks at Daytona. Here in Daytona Beach, Florida. We've been racing here since the 50s. And it's sure to start another tradition here tonight in the GTO League. You ready to get down to some racing action?
Oh, I'm ready for it, Miles. As ready as I ever going to be.
And let's get down to it. The banks are quiet now, but they won't be in a few seconds. And boogity, we are racing at Daytona in the GTO Winston Cup Series.
Rusty Wallace gets one heck of a start, clears the outside lane of Johnny Benson.
Starting to form up already, starting to build up speed. It takes these cars about 2 to 3 laps to build up speed around this racetrack, so we haven't even seen some real speeds yet, only up to 150 mile an hour into turn 1. Yes. 3 wide in the back of the pack.
Already early on in this race, I think that's not what they really need to go for. But as you see these drivers pick up speed and try to shuffle in a line, you're going to start to see how hard it is to handle these cars. Some of these drivers are tight on the exit, rolling up the track into others, and then it's just really back and forth all around. Oh, 3 wide move right now. Look at
3 by 3 in the back of the pack.
These drivers are already getting aggressive. They're not completely up to speed yet.
3 wide for the lead there for a second. Tony Stewart trying to make something work on the outside. 2 Pontiacs locked up on the outside. And you have a Ford and a Dodge and another Ford sandwiched down on the bottom.
John Andretti's trying to make a move on the outside, trying to make it work, but Rusty Wallace is doing a hell of a job blocking both lanes. Look at John Andretti moving him up the racetrack.
Trying to get that 43 back to victory lane. It's been a while since we've seen the number 43 in victory lane, made famous by Richard Petty in the NASCAR Cup Series. It's nice to see that car run up front again. That beautiful Petty blue always shines bright on the racetrack.
Oh, but look at that Coors Light Dodge of Sterling Marlin going 3 wide.
Trying to make a move. These drivers may not know that they still got another 23 laps of racing left to run. They think this is the last one.
If this keeps going like it is, we're going to be out of breath before the finish, Miles, and I don't have any water.
Ernie Irvan is slowly starting to fall back. You saw him get pushed down a line there. Rusty Wallace has actually lost the lead to John Andretti in the number 43 car, but here comes the bottom with a nice run.
Bottom lane's working really nice. You see that top lane is in disarray as you see the 43 and the 20 falling back. So hopefully, which gives back Rusty Wallace the lead, but hopefully they can form up on that outside
Let's talk
lane.
about Jeff Gordon, though, already made up, I believe, 9 spots from where he started in the back of the pack. He's definitely got a fast Monte Carlo here today.
Fastest lap so far in the race. I think Jeff Gordon is on the hunt toward the front. Whatever they had broken, messed up with their car, that caused them to get thrown out of qualifying.
3 wide on the apron. Terry Labonte squeezes down to the bottom below Johnson.
He's moving his Hendrick teammate out of the way. So far, this is some great racing. So far, we're only 3 laps into this thing. The way we're looking at it, you would think it's the last lap.
3 wide, almost 4 wide there. The middle lane had to check up a ton. Look at the run that the top lane got because of that. 3 by 3, middle of the turn.
You see that? Look at Ernie Irvan getting. Ooh, look at all the contact.
Mark Martin had to slow way down to avoid losing that car. Big moment at the front of the pack as a single file throughout the top 7.
See, I think going single file this early in the race is the best way to do it. Because you see those drivers that go 3 wide, you see how they kind of bounce up and down the track because the arrow on the car is kind of throwing them. The forces are throwing them left and right, which can cause an incident or a huge wreck. So hopefully these guys kind of dial it in and they start racing a little more relaxed. And we see a beautiful camera angle from the rear of Rusty Wallace's number 2 Deuce.
Definitely some fast cars out front, but do you want to be out front? There is no fuel wear or fuel and tire wear in this race, but we will see some fuel and tire wear later on in other events at Northern Iowa Speedway, BB Raceway, and other events on the Winston Cup schedule. But if Do you really want to be out front? Because you're pushing your car harder than every other car in this field that's tucked behind you in your draft. So I don't know if you want to be out front this early. Maybe tuck back in third or fourth spot and just kind of ride it out until the cards fall in your favor.
Well, I think right now, as being in the front, I think the risk is mitigated due to the fact that we don't have the fuel wear or the fuel consumption in this race. I think those drivers can actually feel a little bit more comfortable driving up front, because a lot of people say it's a lot easier to be offensive than it is to be defensive. So right now, I think if Rusty Wallace stays in control of this race, he might just chill out and relax. Ernie Irvan doesn't seem like he's in too much of a rush to get around him, so I think those two guys in first and second are being really calm, really relaxed. But look at Jeff Gordon up to fourth place!
Into the top 5 now. 5 laps into the race. He started 19th place, missed out on qualifying, had some issues, and he's already up into the top 5. Making a move.
Place.
Johnny Benson trying to make a move back up front, got shuffled out early. Jimmy Spencer, another
Gordon's
big
going
movement.
for the lead!
3 wide in the back of the pack as Gordon dives to the bottom below the number 2 of Rusty Wallace. Out of turn 4, he's going to clear him. Jeff Gordon to the point. 5 laps in, from last to first goes Gordon.
Jeff Gordon is on a whole other level right now. That Chevy Monte Carlo might be really hard to beat this race.
The front pack has seen the breaking away a little bit. That back pack, you saw 2 rows of 3 wide. Definitely had to check up, so that back pack starting to lose a little bit of ground. They should be able to gain back up as Dale Earnhardt Jr. is getting sandwiched in the middle.
See, I told you that Dale Earnhardt Jr., those Earnhardts, they're not going to stay in the back very long. And Dale Jr., literally, he can see the air. He can really work his way and knows how to work these lines and knows how to race this racetrack. And I'm telling you, it's showing right now as he's all the way up into the top 4.
Gordon trying to make a move back to the bottom of Ernie Irvan. 3 wide yet again. Johnson trying to make a move in the middle back there around 10 spot.
Here comes Dale Sr. as well from the back up to 7th position. Trying to push that inside lane around.
Johnny Benson now trying to make a move. We haven't seen him up front since the start of this thing. Ooh, gets his nose cut off a little bit there by Gordon as they go through the tryover.
What's really awesome right now is having this beautiful angle on this racetrack is that we can see each of these drivers' different strategies. You see some of the leaders, they want to fall back into the pack, kind of run their race, not get caught up in the super aggressiveness that some of these drivers are having. So you can also see the other drivers that like to feel more comfortable in the front, like Jeff Gordon. I think he feels a lot more comfortable up front leading this thing. Same as Dale Earnhardt Jr. As you see, he's getting really aggressive. But Dale Sr. is falling back and slipping as well after making a great charge from the back. But look how fast Terry Labonte got a run there. This is really 3 wide behind. I thought you said Mark Martin was a real calm, cool, and collected driver as he was getting real aggressive going 3 wide there.
Here they go, rocketing off a turn 4. Ernie Irvan on point at the moment. Rusty Wallace, your pole sitter, P2 currently. And the fastest lap right now is actually Dale Earnhardt Sr. Now, whoever has the fastest lap at the end of this event will get 5 bonus points added to their points. But you may not think 5 points is a lot, but 5 points here, 5 points there, it all adds up in a tight championship battle.
I definitely agree, especially with a championship format like this one. Consistency is key. You cannot afford to be getting bad results week in and week out, not finishing races week in and week out, and you got to be consistent. Go for the top 5s, top 10s. If you can't get the points you want, go for the fastest lap. You always got to push your car. You're always going to be pushing for more. And this is what I love about this championship format. We crown real champions here. We focus on consistency and whoever can build the fastest race car. And that's what I love about the GTO Winston Cup Series.
3 wide in the middle. Johnny Benson getting sandwiched at the moment. Bobby Labonte trying to make a move.
Dale Sr. 3 wide behind with Jimmy Johnson and Terry Labonte.
Drivers are wasting no time getting to the front, trying to make some heavy moves.
Just listen to those cars roar around this beautiful facility at Daytona Motor Speedway.
Rusty Wallace been really, really fast all day. Bobby Labonte, we haven't seen him up front yet so far. And Jimmy Johnson starting to make a move. That inside lane has a lot of momentum right now. You see Tony Stewart trying to slow him in as Jimmy Johnson's going to slip to the inside.
Jimmy Johnson's been riding around for about 9 laps now, and I think he's starting to get a feel, get more comfortable with plate racing with these guys right now, and I think he's starting to make his way up towards the front. With Chad Knausen is here, I feel like there's nothing that 4018 can't do.
Always got to take it 3 wide to the bottom. That's going to leave Rusty Wallace on the outside to dry.
Dale Sr. moving the 12 car, Ryan Newman up the racetrack.
Oh, and Jimmy Johnson's actually going to look to the inside of Ernie Irvin for the lead, followed by Jimmy Spencer.
Ernie Irvin's been doing a beautiful job out front right now, blocking the lines, keeping the runs to a minimum. He's really doing great controlling this field, and right now he's in a good spot because the lines behind him, they keep falling apart. They can't really form up all these drivers to being super aggressive. So right now, Ernie Irvin is where Ernie Irvin is where you want to be right now in this racetrack. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's really, really fast. And, you know, I mean, what else would you expect? Those Robert Yates Racing, they're one of the best engine builders in NASCAR history. One of the fastest race cars. They bring some fast race cars into all the Fords, actually, because they build engines for majority of the Fords in the field. So, I mean, just really, really fast race cars. Whoa, 4 wide!
Ryan Newman, what a move!
That's going to move him into the top 5 with that. That was close to being a massive crash in turn 3.
See, anybody would have pulled out of that right there, but you know, when you're going 3 and 4 wide with Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Ryan Newman, nobody's lifting there. They're just going to keep their foot in it, and they did. And Ryan Newman came out on top. Here comes Terry Labonte wanting a piece of the lead here.
Ernie Irvin's going to fall back a little bit, stuck on the outside. Now on the outside of Ryan Newman. First time we see Newman up in the front of the pack. Newman is actually a former Daytona 500 champion as well.
But look at this 7-car pack we have right now up front. These guys kind of separated and divided up from the pack behind them, so I don't know what's kind of happening here. Maybe a difference in strategy. Maybe some people want to relax. But look at the huge run the second pack got.
Ooh, bottling it up 3 wide in the tail end of the pack. Some smoke. Heavy contact back in the back. Let's see what it looks like way back in the back to be riding around. I don't know if you want this view. You're going to be Jeff Gordon's back to where he started this thing from last to first, back to last. So it's been an eventful race in the number 24 car.
Definitely. He made a lot of progress early on in the race. I think he saw how those other guys were racing and made it want him to drop back a little bit, because so far with the runs he's getting, his car is still pretty fast. Doesn't seem like anything's wrong. They're checking up. You see the outside lane just fell apart, and the inside's now stacking up. These drivers are being really aggressive.
Really sticking up.
Way out of throttle there, but it separates the pack once again.
Jimmy Spencer actually to the lead now. Is there 3 wide for second place? Ward Burton trying to make a move on the bottom. Tony Stewart doesn't have any help though.
Oh, Tony's trying to pinch him on the white line. Look how close those drivers
3
are.
wide now back behind. Rusty Wallace to the inside of Mark Martin. Here comes Kurt Busch in the number 97
Look at the
car.
move that Rusty Wallace got on the inside lane all the way up to 3rd place.
Ward Burton making a move now. He's been so close to winning in the Winston Cup Series and all of our exhibition races. Maybe today will finally be his day.
But in that case, we really have to watch out for Ryan Newman, because Ryan Newman snatched the last win he had from him right underneath him at that Northern Isle race.
Newman's the only driver to win back-to-back so far in the Winston Cup Series, but performing in the exhibition series is way different than performing during an actual points-paying race. So now is the time that it really, really counts.
That's very true, because a lot of these drivers did very experimental pit strategies during those exhibition races, and Ryan Newman just so happened to get lucky during that one. So maybe he can get lucky again, maybe not. But they're 4 wide once again.
4 wide in the back of the pack. 3 by 3, able to get it sorted out though. Still 3 wide in the back of the pack. Junior's in the middle.
You see right now we have Rusty Wallace and Ryan Newman running semi-close together.
Newman giving a huge shove to the number 97 car.
Getting him, trying to get him to the lead. Ooh, Jimmy Spencer cuts his nose off. But you know, Kurt Busch and Jimmy Spencer they're not the bestest of friends off the racetrack. So right now, I don't think Jimmy Spencer's going to cut him any slack, let's just say.
These cars always fast here. But let's take a look at the Dodge Cutaway car. You see we have this car sitting on the side of the racetrack. These cars are built specifically for super speedway and intermediate races and made to handle exactly like a stock car would handle in the NASCAR Cup Series, or now in our case the GTO Winston Cup Series. As you can see, the large front splitter, the ducktail spoiler, these things are meant to punch a big hole in there, so you're going to a lot of drafts. These drivers have to deal with a lot of slipstream throughout. So that's a little visit to your Dodge Cutaway car there.
As we get back to the action, Ward Burton is still in the lead, but Tony Stewart, somebody that's really good on plate tracks as well, trying to make his way to the lead, being a bit aggressive. But Jimmy Spencer gives the 22 Ward Burton a shot, which keeps him in the lead. Look at that view behind us. That mob of cars, that pack, racing hard together within inches. Let's see Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton do this.
Ooh, some contact right in front of him down the straightaway. Newman trying to get a little side draft action there.
3 wide right now. Wow, look at that. You see certain things every day, but you're still in awe of them. That's the beauty of motor racing. What do you think, Miles?
It's great, especially NASCAR, different outcome every time you go to the racetrack. Really, really competitive motorsport, and we've had a ton of different leaders so far today. Ryan Newman's currently out front, but here comes Mark Martin, going to be looking to the inside, 3 wide for the lead heading into turn 1.
Ooh, he's trying to work that inside lane, moving the 2 guys up off the bottom of the racetrack. Right, Mark Martin is really trying to make it work. Ernie Irvin and Dale Jarrett following him behind. Those Robert Yates cars, if they work together, they can really make something happen. But Dale Jarrett's getting a little impatient as he takes it 3 wide with his teammate. But here comes the 18 of Bobby Labonte, gonna stick it in there. 4 wide. Oh, it's tight to take P2. Oh my gosh, what a move that was.
And that just shows the talent of these veteran drivers out here, because they would have made that some younger drivers may have made that move and not knowing how to hold on to the car because of how light it gets going into those high baked turns at over 200 miles an hour. Just being able to hang on that car like that and knowing the exact limit of your car, where every quarter panel, where every inch of your race car is at all times, it's you really need that. It's key to winning one of these Winston Cup races.
I 100% agree, Miles. See Bobby Labonte trying to work over Mark Martin, trying to take the lead with some help from Johnny Benson, who fell back in the pack a little bit this race. I think he would relax a little bit as we take lap 17. Not too much in this race to go. And I think Johnny Benson's has an eye for the lead right now.
Under 10 laps to go here at the Daytona International Speedway. It's going to be go time soon, but when do you think it's time to make your move if you're kind of hanging out in the back?
Oh man, Miles, I would think about 5 to goes when I would start working my way through the field, through the pack, trying to get up to the front. Depends on where you're on track. One thing I'm really worried about is, what do you think the leader is going to do when that 5 to go mark hits?
Make your car as wide as you possibly can. There's nothing else you can possibly do. You got yourself up front, but you want to keep your car up there to get a good result for your team and possibly come home with one of the biggest wins in all of NASCAR stock car racing here at the highest banked super speedway of Daytona Beach.
4 wide racing so far. I think these drivers are starting, the crew chiefs are getting their ears, starting to tell them to prepare for the end, start getting ready for the end. As you've seen, they're starting to get where they want to be. They're starting to single file out, trying to be a lot more cautious, a lot more safe, worrying about those lines, where to place their car, where to be at. Jimmy Spencer's trying to get up there 3 wide to try to fight for the lead here. Jeff Gordon is trying to inch his way towards the front as well. These guys are all over the place, Miles. What do you think is going through their heads right now?
Everything that can possibly go through here. You're feeling every single vibration, every bump, every shake that's in that race car, every drive. You're feeling everything right now, holding on to try to win one of the biggest racing in all of stock car racing.
But Bobby Labonte is doing one hell of a job of keeping that 18 car up front. I think that is beautiful from that Pontiac of Joe Gibbs. We said they were going to be fast. They made the adjustment they need to do, and they are fast. But here comes Johnny Benson. Did not want to sit back for too long, trying to take the lead.
So I took a look at the last 5 Winston Cup races, our little race twins here, and the actual winner for each of these races was inside of the top 5 with 5 laps to go. So will we see a number winner come from the top 5, or will he come from deeper in the pack? Anything can happen here at the Super Speedway.
That's very true. These races are like wild cards. People think they're so random, anybody can win them. Yes, that is true, but you can have the skill to be more successful than others. And I think with this field, we have a lot of people that are very fast and very good at this racetrack, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. He doesn't have the help he wants right now, but look where he put his car at. About coming to 5 to go left in this race, 5, 6 to go in this race, that he is where he wants to be, inside that top 5, Miles.
It doesn't matter where you are at all throughout the race, because 10 years from now, no one's going to remember where you were on lap 25 of the Daytona, or 24 of the Daytona 500. Everyone's going to worry about where you were at when that checkered flag drops. It doesn't matter where you are right now. What matters is where your car is at the end of this thing.
I can't argue with that, Miles. You are definitely correct, but look at this pack as it's starting to kind of dissolve a little bit. They're starting to single file out, string out just a little bit. I think some of these drivers may be anticipating a big one. So far, we hadn't had any wreck, but look at Jeff Gordon with one hell of a run.
To the inside. He's going to try to take this thing all the way. Ooh, a little contact there between him and Bobby Labonte.
Miles, can you hear that? You can hear the crowd in the stands on their feet as Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in the lead of Daytona.
I don't even know why they keep seats in this place anymore, because I don't think the fans have been using them throughout this one. This has been a barn burner throughout this entire 25 lap feature. 5 to go at the stripe. The 5-5 in the stand, from the flag stand. The flag man holding up, letting these drivers know it's 5 more laps to go.
Right now we see Dale Jr. in the lead, exactly where he wants to be. I was telling you, Miles, he was putting the car where he needed to put the car, but he also has those 2 Hendrick teammates on his rear bumper. Now, if those guys work together, they may be really hard to beat.
All these fast cars up front. Every car in this field has a chance to win this race here. There could be a massive wreck that takes out all of them, and then whoever was second to last could pull through and win it. We never know what's going to happen here when we come to the Super Speedway.
That's 100% true, but look
3 wide, back down the back. Johnny Benson's getting shuffled out.
Not where he wants to be, coming to where we are, but look at Dale Sr. Dale Sr.'s been chilling in the back of the pack, and now he's starting to make his way towards the front. Are we going to see an Earnhardt versus Earnhardt here at the end of this thing?
He saw that number 8 car that he actually owns go to the top of the pylon. He said, you know what, I think it's time to get up there too. So Senior trying to make his way through the pack. He's definitely seen the air.
Right now, for a guy that was having handling issues with that number 3 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, he's actually starting to get it dialed in. He's making it work for him today. I don't think his result's gonna be on the car. I think it's gonna be on how good he can be in that race car.
We're trying to make a move now. Junior got shuffled back a little bit, now lost the lead side by side between the 2 Hendrick teammates of Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Here comes Earnhardt on the bottom.
Moving him out the way, pushing his son to the lead. Sometimes, Miles, the car does not make the driver makes the car. And that's something right now we're seeing with those 2 Earnhardts running together right now as they cross the line at the Daytona 500.
3 more laps to go. The 3 held in the air. Will it be the 3 that wins at Daytona? Will it be the 8? Will it be somebody else? Who is going to pull off the win here with a few laps to go?
It's cool. You see right now, you see the Earnhardts on the bottom lane. You see the Hendrick teammates on the top groove. Is anybody going to be able to disrupt this good working? I'm done talking.
Really, really fast cars up front as they roar down the Daytona super stretch. Who can get her done? Earnhardt's have been broken up for a second. Junior's back out to the lead. They're going to come around and get 2 to go from the flag stand. It's about time to wrap this one up. Sterling Marlin getting up there. The first time we've seen the silver bullet up front.
Wow, this is spectacular. Look at these guys driving hard right now. 2 laps to go, Miles. 2 laps to go.
Oh, Sterling Marlin's going to look to the bottom. Will it be 3 wide for the lead? He moves up.
Johnny Benson to the point.
Johnny Benson to the point. 3 wide on the outside now. 2 laps remaining.
Here goes Sterling Marlin on the inside there. But he also has one of the best super speedway racers in the world in Dale Earnhardt Jr. running behind him. Does that give you confidence or does that give you anxiety, Miles?
You have no idea what's running through these drivers' head right now. This thing is about to get wild. Smoke flying, 3 wide action from Team P2 on back. The cars are going to thunder around to get one to go from the flag stand here at Daytona. Johnny Benson is going to lead them back to the stripe. Sterling Marlin close on the tail. Here comes the dodge of Ward Burton. Johnny Benson doing everything he can.
Chopped his nose off, got a little loose, but kept it straight.
The white flag is out. 1 to go here at Daytona. Who's going to bring back the win? The first race of the season. Johnny Benson trying to hold on.
Johnny Benson got to try to block with his life right now because right now he is under a lot of pressure from a veteran in the 40 car of Sterling Marlin and the super speedway king of Dale Jr.
He's going to slide up to block that top lane. Had a really, really strong run. Ward Burton trying to make it work on the bottom.
Oh, 4 wide. There
4
goes Dale
wide.
Senior on the bottom.
Senior making a move.
Try to get the best result possible. Look at him going for it.
Going for it.
Blocking him. He's trying to be there, trying to beat his son.
Beating and banging the Earnhardt side by side. It's going to be a drag race. Will Sr. have a big enough run? Johnny Benson
put the block on him. Here comes Dale Sr.
to the bottom. Will he be able to get him off? Johnny Benson with the block. Johnny Benson, the underdog, wins the Daytona 50 at the line. What a finish here from Daytona.
Miles, that was an incredible race. Congratulations to the winner of Johnny Benson and that very small race team in the number 10 car. They weren't expecting to win today, but man, they had the speed and they made it happen.
Man, an excellent finish. Johnny Benson is your winner. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was able to hold on to P2. P3 was his dad. So imagine beating your dad. That's got to be a pretty good day for you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We definitely know that Dale Earnhardt Sr. does not like being beat by his son, let alone anyone.
But a really good finish. Ernie Irvin's going to bring home a top 5 finish in P4. P5 is going to be Ward Burton. Really, really good result for that race team. The number 97, Kurt Busch, started deep in the pack. Going to end up in the 6th or 5th spot, I believe. 5th or 6th. Right behind him is Jeff Gordon. Really good finishing position compared to where he started. Sterling Marlin right behind him. Got shuffled out on that last lap. Not quite the result he wanted, but still a good result. Of course, Jimmy Johnson's going to finish there, and his teammate Terry Labonte is going to round out the top 10. Some very, very fast race cars finishing up front. So good to see some fast race cars.
Well, this is a great points day for Dale Sr. He got the fastest lap, so he's going to get those 5 bonus points and finish his P3. I mean, that's a great result if I would say so.
That's a great start. You don't need to win every race, but you sure need to be up front and be consistently fast, because that is how you win championship. Consistency wins championships, and we're definitely going to see an example of that this season in the Winston Cup Series. So I think it's been a really, really fun event here today. I hope to see y'all back soon. This has been a really, really fun time. I know I've had a lot of fun here in the booth with you, Rashad. So what do you think these drivers can do to prepare for the next one after they got some track time underneath them?
I think these drivers are knowing, now they know they got a handle on this car. Now they know who they're racing against. And now, as you see, all these drivers are hungry for wins, hungry for points, hungry for positions. So right now, these drivers are figuring out how to race with each other. And I think next week, we're going to see a completely different style of racing. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit cooler, more calmer racing setting. But hopefully, these drivers may not be as aggressive. And we can really see some great racing going on like we did today. That's amazing. But that's just the result. That's what you get week in and week out when you come to Daytona International Speedway.
But thank you again for joining me here in the booth, Rashad. It was great to talk with you. Congratulations to Johnny Benson, tonight's winner of the GTO Winston Cup Series here at Daytona, the winner of the Daytona 50, one of the biggest crown jewel events here in the GTO Winston Cup Series. Next time we will see you, we will be at Watkins Glen for a 20-lap feature, so totally different racetrack than what we saw here at Daytona Superspeedway. It's going to be great to see those road ringers battle it out on the road course in the winding hills of New York State. It's going to be fun to watch that and watch how this season unfolds right before us. And hit us up on Instagram. Make sure to give us a follow. Subscribe to us on YouTube for videos of AI racing series like the Winston Cup series and time trial events. We got another time trial event coming up this upcoming week, another time trial Tuesday, so make sure to either participate in that or just check it out on YouTube. Lots of fun stuff going on in and throughout the league, so just thank everyone for watching, and we will see you next time on the Gran Turismo Online League, which is presented by Mets Painting.